Football is back, baby. Hall of Fame game tonight between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. We'll talk about that. Plus, Laveranues Coles had a very bold take on Garrett Wilson, and we'll share some Hall of Fame memories from last year, Jets Browns. And I was there live in Canton, Ohio. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
The Jets brothers and sisters that are watching live or after the fact on the video version or on the podcast. We appreciate you guys all the same. This is Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. I'm your handsome and bearded host, Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. Welcome to the show, baby. And I'm wearing the full Hall of Fame gear, the Hall of Fame hat, the nice Hall of Fame pillow that I got both in Canton, Ohio, which had been on my bucket list forever, and what a spectacular time to finally check it off, and that was last year when Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis were both enshrined forever, football immortality in the Hall of Fame. I was there for the game. I was there for the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremonies. Beautiful, amazing, awesome. Man, to try to come up with the words to describe it, were stunning. It's a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life, and not only because I got to go to the Hall of Fame, actual Hall of Fame, and see the busts, go to the Hall of Fame game, and the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremonies, all three of those. But it was awesome to meet a bunch of my Jet content creator brethren. So I'll take a quick, before we get into our topic of choice here, let's throw it over to Twitter. And here is Matt O'Leary on your left, Jake Asman in the middle, and Boy Green there, because we did a JETS chant live on the show from right by the Hall of Fame. Here we go.
Jets, 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 Jets.
Beautiful job, Matt O'Leary, Jake Asman. It was wonderful to meet them in person. There they are. Look at that. Matt O'Leary, Jake Asman. This is the only photo where we look similar in height. When we're all standing, that certainly is not the case. That's my same Mikey camera that we have right here. And there you see the Hall of Fame in the background. Random passerbys as we're at a local restaurant doing some shows. We all did a collab on each other's show. So Jake and Matt popped on my show. I popped on their show and everything else. There's Matt and Jake, and I'm sitting next to Matt O'Leary's beautiful fiance now, who was with me there at the Hall of Fame festivities. And look at that little hobbit. Look at that bastard right there. And this is after the Jets-Browns game. Connor Hughes took this photo, actually. I don't think he was trying to get me in it, but I just happened to be there when he took the photo. So at the top right of the photo, you see Myles Garrett. He was waiting till after the presser to speak with Robert Saleh. This is after the Jets-Browns game. Robert Saleh sitting there at the podium. There's Zach Rosenblatt. Congratulations to Zach. He just got engaged too. Everyone's getting engaged. He just popped the question over the weekend, as said yes. And there's me with my old phone. I'm just like taking it all in. And there's a lot of comments like, who the hell is that little hobbit bastard? And yep, that is Boy Green, baby. So yes, awesome experience. Pretty gosh darn cool to be there for that group. It was awesome. And then one more trip down memory lane I just want to play. And it was cool to be able to capture this. So I was credentialed media for the Hall of Fame, which means I was up in the booth as they were going through the festivities, as opposed to being with the fans. And Joe Klecko, for his Hall of Fame speech, got together with Fireman Ed for one of the greatest JETS chants of all time, and I recorded it from up in the booth. Here we go. Let's listen into that.
Ed, where are you? All right, I'm going to handle it. You guys ready? There he is back there.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
And the crowd goes wild. It was awesome. The speech by Joe Klecko was great, and that is the entire stadium chanting Jets, 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 Jets. So shout out to all that. Again, the Hall of Fame was awesome. If you guys have not been to the Hall of Fame, it's totally worth it. You just have to go. That is how special and unique it is. I'm a fan of the game of football, so I was geeking out at all the exhibits and things of that nature for sure, as a big football nerd. But yeah, the Hall of Fame is can't miss. But with that being said, let's get into the brass tacks here. And I thought it was an interesting topic for today's show. I believe the Jets have a day off today from all their, it's supposed to be a walkthrough, I believe, what the Jets are actually doing, but day off in terms of, wall-to-wall media coverage of it. So I thought today would be a good point to detour on a topic which kind of has something to do with the Hall of Fame. We got the Hall of Fame game tonight and everything. So the Jets, on a couple of days when they're doing a training camp practice, whether it's open to the media or not, they sometimes do like a 30, 40-minute show. And it's hosted by Ethan Greenberg, Jets team reporter, Eric Allen, senior Jets team reporter, and Caroline Hendershot is normally on the sideline, quote unquote, getting player interviews and things of that nature. And during their broadcast, during their shows, they bring on former players or like Ian Rappaport or something. And one of the people they had on most recently this week was Laveranues Coles. And I want to say before I even play this video, Laveranues Coles is one of the first Jets jerseys I ever got. I love Laveranues Coles. He's one of my favorite Jets players of all time. He's up there with Jerko Cotchery, Chad Pennington, LaDainian Tomlinson, who I loved even though his stint was short. So, I have a very, very soft place in my heart for Laveranues Coles, and hopefully one day we get him on the show because I love Laveranues. But I'm not so sure I loved what Laveranues is about to say, but let's get into it. He had a very bold take on Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson. Let's just roll the footage, and you can judge for yourself. Roll
it. Growth. And as time goes on, he's already made himself one of the best receivers to ever walk in a Jets building. So I think just him having been on the same page with the same quarterback for a full season, somebody that's very good at that craft, which Aaron is, he will be fine and he will excel. He'll be a 1,000-yard receiver, probably a Pro Bowler. Eventually he'll hit the numbers that he want to hit and just continue to be great. I already think he's probably in the top 2 Jets receivers ever come through here, in my opinion. He's up there in my opinion, with Maynard and Wesley Walker with just ability and everything like that.
That's a hell of a compliment.
Oh, yeah, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. The real deal.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like Peter. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's slow our roll here. A little bit. Now, a couple of things he said that we all like. Pro Bowl for Garrett Wilson this year. Sure. 1,000 yards. Okay, that sounds wonderful. But already one of the best receivers that have ever walked through at the Jets. What? We kind of talked a little bit about this when we did our random top 5 or top 3, whatever it was, for Jets receivers all time. Not sure I'm willing to go there. Garrett Wilson's been in the league for 2 years, man. 2 years. I just mentioned I'm an old head in terms of respect. With all due respect, Garrett Wilson is not in the same breath as Don Maynard. That is a New York Jets Pro Football Hall of Famer. He is not in that conversation. When you look at the 6 greatest single seasons in Jets receiving history, Brandon Marshall's at the top of that list. He had that crazy 1,502-yard receiving season in 2015. We have Laveranues Coles. He appears in the top 5. He had a 1,264 receiving season back in 2002, the last time the Jets won the division. Very nice. The other 4 in the top 6 belong to Pro Football Hall of Famer Don Maynard. And each of those 4 that are all inside the top 6 are at least 1,200 receiving yards or more, and they all happened in 14 games or fewer. 1,434 yards, 1,400 yards in 1967 in 14 games. That is unbelievable. A near 1,300-yard receiving season in 13 games. 1,200 yards again in 1960 when they were the New York Titans, for Pete's sake. 14-game season, he only had 12 starts that season. And then again in 1965, 14 games, 1,200 yards. Those are spectacular. 4 of the greatest Jets receiving seasons we've ever had in this team's history. Garrett Wilson's best season is 17th on the list in terms of receiving yards, and we all know why. The quarterback play has been terrible, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Okay, maybe if Garrett, like Aaron Rodgers this year, Garrett Wilson should be awesome. We all hope that he's awesome. Absolutely. He has a chance to be really good. He has a chance to eventually, hopefully, maybe, if you squint, be in that conversation. But today, now, hell no. Come on, man. I know we're youngins and we want to rock with our youngins, but for God's sakes, like, come on. Can we put some respect? God rest his soul. Can we put some respect on Don Maynard's name? One of the greatest receivers of all time, not just Jets, one of the greatest receivers of all time that people don't talk enough about. Look at this on my head. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's got a bust in Canton forever. Okay? Garrett Wilson, 2 years in, already being in that conversation now. Now just hold the now just wait a gosh darn minute. Now wait just a gosh darn minute. Okay? I know he mentioned Wesley Walker as someone else who could be in that conversation. Well, I would say Al Toon deserves to be in that conversation. Okay? And they talk about some of just the Jet receivers. They may not have been wide receiver ones necessarily, but they put up numbers in their Jets careers. Jericho Cotchery, Wayne Corbett. You know, you start going through some of those. Brandon Marshall, obviously that crazy single season. You start going through some of those. Oh, yeah, baby. Jets have had a lot of really good receivers. Again, I love Garrett a lot. I think he has a chance to be really special. I hope he's here for a very long time. But Laveranues Coles, for the love of God, let's again, I mentioned this joke on my radio show. We have a older listener that calls in, and he's supposed to provide sage advice, but he's not supposed to smoke it. You're supposed to provide the sage advice, not smoke it. Laveranues Coles, smells like you're smoking the sage, not sharing it. Okay? That's a little too early for Garrett. Again, the Pro Bowl? Sure. 1,000 yards? Okay. That's all great. But in the same conversation as some of these other legends, NFL legends and Jets legends, I think not. But the thing that I do love about Garrett and that I'm excited about is him playing with a gosh darn quarterback. That has been the first time in a long time that we've been able to say that. The first time in a long time that we've been able to say that. And that part, to me, is incredibly exciting. How can it not be? This guy has put up numbers despite the quarterbacks that he's played with, and that to me is like, okay, let's see what can happen here. That part to me is the thing that revs my engine and says, maybe, just maybe, this can be arguably one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen from a Jets receiver. Garrett Wilson has a chance to do that. And I'm very much looking forward to that being part of the conversation. All right, let's go to social media. Another part of the Garrett. So we've beat a dead horse here. Okay, we've addressed the take of Laveranues Coles and why I don't necessarily agree with it, and no one on the earth should agree with it, quite frankly. But putting that aside for a second, another Garrett Wilson topic I'd like to get into here is everyone has been making a bunch of hubbub about Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers having conversations on the sideline that are visible to the fans, and thus viral videos have gone crazy. We talked about that actually the other day because Jared B. dropped in my comment section some article from Marca, some Italian thing maybe Snowball said, I don't know, about like concerning conversations between the two. Well, the thing that I enjoy is the fact that Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson spoke about this yesterday. Let's go on over to social media. This is Aaron Rodgers who spoke yesterday, and he was asked about the conversations between himself and Garrett Wilson. Let's roll this footage.
Been floating around on social media, the conversation between you and Garrett, the very passionate. Just kind of, what happened there from your assessment.
What do you say?
He blamed you.
He blamed me? I blame him.
He basically said it was just a conversation between two passionate people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's often appearance versus reality in life and on the football field, and what it appears to be might not always be what the reality actually is. As far as whether or not we're upset with each other, we're just passionately talking about the details of a situation that might not have to do with either of us. So G and I got a great relationship. We spend time together off the field. On the field, there's a way of doing things that we both agree on. And when it doesn't look exactly how we want it to, sometimes there's some side conversations that happen. I love those conversations. I mean, it's about the details. It's about winning. It's about seeing what he sees. He's got to get on my page, but I got to get on his page too, because he's got a whole book that I need to understand fully of skill set and ability and feel and rhythm and all the different things that he does out there. So those are good conversations. They might appear to be much more heated than they are, but there's usually a smile on our face afterwards, at least one of us.
So that is all true and good. By the way, this Aaron Rodgers hat, I'm a hat guy. Some people call me a hat aficionado. A lot going on here. Not sure how I feel about the hat. There's a New York Jets written out. There's an alternate Jets logo. There's the green splash, the white splash, the black splash. Perhaps a little too much going on here, would be my opinion on it. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Just a comment. Just a comment there. Seems kind of busy. But before we move on to anything else here, I did want to see if we could get Garrett Wilson, who also spoke about this. Let me see if I could get that clip real quick here. Let me see. Yes, here we go. Let's go to this comment. This is Garrett Wilson, basically addressing the same thing. A lot of people have made a lot of hoopla about the conversations between Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. Garrett Wilson was asked about that. You hear the question and then the answer. Let's roll that footage.
The joys of social media. A couple of the videos of you and Aaron talking on the sideline kind of went viral.
Yeah.
Can you just take us into those conversations, what you guys are talking about, and just shed some light where just, I guess, body language can maybe skew it?
Yeah. I mean, those videos, they look a certain way, and we're both passionate guys out on the football field, and I mean, I was just telling Jared, like, I'm a different guy out on the field than I am, whenever y'all see me after the game or whenever it may be. And Aaron's kind of the same way. So it's really just a conversation that we're both like-minded. We're trying to figure out a way to attack our defense, and he'll tell me why he needed me at this depth. I'll play receiver. So I'm like, man, I was open here. That's just how I am, and with that, it may look how it looks on social. And honestly, I try not to worry about it too much, because it's not real. When me and him are out there having those conversations and getting the way we are, we're getting better. We're getting better. We're gaining an understanding for each other and the way we go about things, the way we think and interpret the game. So it's truly enlightening for me every time we have convos like that. And despite how it may look, and just because I am an emotional, passionate guy, so when we lose, and it might, I might look a certain way, but in reality, all those conversations, those things are helping me, to be better for Aaron, because he can make your life real easy. So for me, it's my job to be on my details, and he's been on me about those details. So just making sure I'm checking in with him after drives, after plays, after we, I feel like I left something on the field because I want to fix it,
And so great stuff there from both Garrett and Aaron on this conversation. And something I just want to add to the table. It's an absolute non-issue. So let me, I guess, say that off the top rope. Non-issue whatsoever. I like that, they're talking to each other. That's good. Two things to mention here on this topic. Number one, Aaron Rodgers needs to develop chemistry and conversation with Garrett Wilson. I don't need to remind Jet fans. Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps last year. So he didn't have a lot of experience playing with Garrett Wilson. It's just facts of the matter. So they're making up for lost time this offseason. So there should be more of these conversations as he's trying to understand Garrett. Garrett is a unique weapon of mass destruction. He is very unique in how he runs routes. He is unique on all facets of his game, especially the fluidity in-game action. Okay? When the whistle blows, and the snap happens, and then he's moving around out there, it's unique. And one miscue of some optionality with route combinations, Garrett thinks he's like, oh, obviously Aaron knows I want to do this, and Aaron thinks he does this. That's a pick six. You know what I mean? So they need to build that and put that together. Number one, they didn't get a lot of experience last year, so makes sense. Makes sense that they'd be having these conversations. I'd be concerned if they weren't having these conversations. Let me put it that way. They need to get better. They both want the same thing. And I've mentioned that before. They want to win. They want to win a Super Bowl. They want to put up stats. Who doesn't, for God's sakes? All of that. We want it. Now, here's thing number two. Okay? It's okay. Garrett Wilson, number one. Go back to number one real quick. Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, not a lot of chemistry together. Not a lot of opportunity. So these practices and training camps are all very important. Number two, Garrett Wilson last year was just the little boy in the room. Oh, wow. Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, what do you want me to do? You want me to jump? How high, sir? And that's what he did. He was a listener last year, predominantly, and he was learning the offense. So when you're learning something for the first time, you're normally more listener than a talker. You're just taking it all in. You're absorbing. Okay? Plus, let's be honest, last year, Garrett Wilson was coming off his rookie campaign. He don't know nothing about nothing. And to Garrett's credit, he accepted that. Said, hey, you know what? He's a Hall of Famer. I'm just some second-year guy. Let's listen to the Hall of Famer. But what has happened for Garrett, and a natural progression, is that Garrett Wilson, from his rookie year to his sophomore year, is like, okay, I know a little bit about the game of football. I'm entering year number 3. I got some confidence. I got some things to say. So instead of Aaron Rodgers saying something as he would have last year and Garrett Wilson simply doing it without question, there was a conversation. Aaron is like, yo, Garrett, I'm making this up, but yo, Garrett, what the hell on 3rd and 4? You got to whip back out. You got to cut off that route at 3 yards. And Garrett says, actually, we need it at 5 yards to get to the sticks. And they're having this back and forth conversation. Garrett has gained confidence in his own ability, in the knowledge of the offense. So he has more of a voice, more of a leg to stand on to Aaron Rodgers. And it's not to be combative, but it's about challenging Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers challenging Garrett Wilson. Because again, I reiterate, they both want the same thing. But now you got two players who want to be great. Aaron Rodgers is already a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He could retire today, he'd be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. On the Garrett Wilson side, he wants to get to that level. And to get to that level, he needs to just be his fiery, passionate self. That is who he is. Who he is. They're two passionate guys, two fiery guys. And as a fellow passionate guy with a P, I love it. I love seeing that chutzpah. I love seeing that energy. I love seeing the investment. Garrett obviously cares. If he didn't care and it was his year and he's just, yeah, okay, Aaron, I'll do whatever you say. All right, let's just go through the motions here. No, he is making certain that they're getting exactly the most out of every single rep. And how can you not enjoy that as a Jets fan? So speaking of Garrett Wilson topics, I think that's an important piece of the puzzle to mention. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And again, Garrett Wilson has a chance to, I think, put up the greatest single season we've ever seen. That single season I'm referencing was the 2015 season where Brandon Marshall had 109 catches, 1,502 yards, and 14 tutties. Garrett Wilson is going to be in the double-digit touchdown club. The yards should accumulate naturally as one of the most targeted receivers in the league since coming into the league. And Aaron's going to be looking for him often. And Garrett Wilson's going to get a lot of ops. And we'll see what he does with them. Jets have a lot of talent on offense. We'll see. Do teams try to take Garrett away? Depending on the opponent, what's going to happen? I'll be interested to see that piece of the puzzle. All right, I will now open up the phone lines now that we got all that Garrett Wilson stuff off our chest. Again, we got the Hall of Fame game tonight. I'm so excited. I know there won't be Caleb Williams, which would have obviously been incredibly intriguing and everything that entails. But to be honest with you, I am totally okay with the agent being there at quarterback. That, as far as I'm concerned, that works for me. Let's make it happen. That's great. Let's have Tyson Bagent in or whoever. It doesn't matter. Again, the fifth string person could be in, and I would still be absolutely excited to see whoever that was. So that part of the equation, I don't care. That totally works for me. It could be anyone they want. By the way, that is the pinned comment right now on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into the show, we got 300 people in the room right now. We appreciate you. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, get involved on the show wherever you're watching. We're streaming live to the Heavy on Jets Facebook page, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/boygreen25, and Twitter @boygreen25 as well. If you're watching on either Facebook or Twitter, thank you, of course. And also that the main action happens on the YouTube channel. That's where you can get into the emojis. That's where you can get into all the other wonderful, fun business that is happening here on it as well. So terrific. So make sure you get those things flowing. And like I said, we got the first preseason game tonight. Jets don't have their preseason game till August 10th. And just to make sure we check the internet, still no update on Hassan Reddick. I'm going to be honest, I did not believe that, this is where we'd be at with Reddick. I did not believe this would still be an issue when the Jets traded for him, of course. And now we're still waiting here. So he just missed yesterday, the 7th day of training camp. So what's that? That is 1, 2, 3, 350. And then we'll see. Although today's a walkthrough, so I'm not sure if the walkthroughs and stuff count. But that's $350,000 in fines from that, which takes us to $1.1 million. Is that right? Is that my math on that in terms of fines? So again, my line in the sand, and by the way, welcome to the month of August. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we're here in August. On the Hassan Reddick business, I believe this will get handled before the first preseason game for the Jets, which is Jets Commanders on August 10th. Also, speaking of, I do want to give this a shout out before we get too far into it. Where are we at today? Okay, folks. I will mention this right now here on the show, and maybe we'll even do it live today on the show, or it'll be tomorrow. I've got Jets training camp tickets to give away. I do. It's right here on my phone, and I have 2 to give away. I can't go. I wish I could go myself, to be honest with you, but I can't. I can't go. So what we'd like to do is give these 2 training camp tickets up, and these 2 training camp tickets that I have right here on my phone are for the Jets training camp practice on Thursday, August 8th. I have 2 tickets to Thursday, August 8th training camp practice, and an absolute shout out to our guy, Jared B, for sharing these. And I have them, I'm staring at them right now on my phone. We have 2 training camp tickets. And let me look up the one thing I did want to double check about this, because I'm pretty sure, but you know what they say about, assuming. Let me pull up. We have it here. The Jets training camp schedule. I believe I know what this one is. And yes, this, by the way, this one I have in front of me is the Jets Commanders joint practice Jets training camp tickets ahead of the preseason game, which is what I have in front of me. Again, I wish I could go myself. We will have to be doing a bit of trivia for this and to give these away. So we got 2 tickets. It is the August 8th, again, a week from today. The August 8th is the practice with the Commanders. And yeah, I just double checked it, Jared B. It absolutely is here on the show. So we got a pair of those puppies. So we'll probably give those away tomorrow on the show. So keep an eye out. And what I'm thinking of doing is this. A Jets trivia question that people call in. And the first one to get that trivia question right, booyah, they will win the tickets. So keep an eye out for that. Want to give a tease so we can try to give as much people a heads up as possible. And then tomorrow I'll mention at the beginning of the show, and hopefully people hang around and they're ready whenever we drop in the trivia question and the call-in link. Again, shout out to Jared B, who shared these tickets. So I have them right here on my phone, right here. They've already been transferred into my account, and I'm ready to transfer them out to our lucky winner. So I want to give you guys a tease. So again, 2 training camp practice tickets for the joint practice a week from today, Jets Commanders, which of course will be ahead of their preseason game. And for a lot of respects, this will be a preseason game for a lot of the Jets starters, including Aaron Rodgers, who it was already guaranteed is not going to be playing. So again, let's give a proper JETS shout out here to Jared B for being so kind to share these. Like I said, I'd go myself if I could, but I'm in New York and work and radio station. I can't go. But shout out to Jared, who's our moderator in the chat, and for sharing these with me, and he wanted to spread the love. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be doing it on the show tomorrow. I'll come up with a Jets trivia question, and then we will open up the phone lines, and whoever calls in first with the correct answer will win those 2 joint tickets to Jets Commanders next week, a week from today. So, guys, keep an eye out for that. Again, want to give it a proper tease. I'm mentioning it now at 8:01 a.m. on August 1st. I'll mention it, at the start of the show tomorrow, and then it'll be at some point, maybe midway through the show. But you have to keep an eye on it. It'll be first come, first serve in terms of who answers it correctly. So keep an eye out for that, everybody. We'd love to spread the love there for that. Let's go over to the phone lines right now. We got our boy Ricky New York live here on the show. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's happening, Paul?
Well, good to see you.
Man, I can't believe that we have another story about nothing, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow, two highly competitive, 2 of the best athletes in the world actually got fired up. Wow, shocker.
Yeah, and I've seen some of these shows, some of these segmented shows that are doing stuff, and they've like, how big of an issue is this? And I'm like, geez, salute. Like, what are we talking about here?
I know. It's, you know what? These, a lot of these media outlets have just, made a living at poking fun at our team. And now that we've kind of started to turn things around, they don't know how to act. And they're just scrambling to try to find a story anywhere they can where there isn't one. Whether it's a blister, a trip to Egypt, or a conversation on the sideline, they're always going to have something to talk about.
Apparently, that's a good point. Yeah.
But you know what? Doesn't bother me, because the fact of the matter is they just can't stop talking about us.
That's true. It's an endearing quality, I guess. I should give them more love for the fact that they have a sense to continue to talk about us, whether for a good reason or not. For that, so that part of the equation to me is, I guess, endearing. I didn't think about it that way, but that's a good point. It's a good point, Ricky. That's what we've got going on. And you think about it, from mini camp, the blister, I forgot about that one. That's a good one. The blister, the mini camp, the Egypt. There's been so many apparently that I'm not giving proper love and TLC to some of them. They're on the show. So.
The vice presidency. I mean, oh my
yes. Yeah, how did I forget about that one? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like once a week they come up with something to talk about, but they just can't stop talking about us. Now it would be nice if they could, actually like maybe report it and like get it right. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson fired up, ready to really let people have it this season. But I guess that's probably asking a bit much.
Apparently, obviously it is.
They're going to have to get used to this new look Jets first. So give them time. They'll come.
How much
around.
time? How much time should we give them, Ricky? Let's determine that time right now. How much time should we give them?
If they haven't figured it out by week 3, then there's just no helping them.
Okay,
but by that point, I think it should be pretty obvious.
I like that. Yeah, week 3 should be a goodie. That'll be a short week for the Jets, Thursday Night Football. If they can't figure it out then maybe they never will.
Yep, that's the way I look at it. But that's about all I got.
Well, I appreciate it, Ricky. Thanks for calling in, brother. And wise words. Some wise words shared, pal.
Right on. Have a good day, Paul.
All right, you too, Ricky. Well said. Again, I forgot about the blister story. And then the VP. I mean, oh, boy. And we haven't even got to the season yet. What else could be happening? Who knows? Matthias and Texans Bears football officially back tonight. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be on the Syracuse Mets game tonight, and I'll have the game up in the radio booth. And I'm looking forward to on my updates. I give like a 30-second update at the top of the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th inning. I'm looking forward to, all right, we're in the 2nd quarter here. Tyson Bagent has done this or that. Touchdown. I'm looking forward to preseason highlights from the Hall of Fame game in my updates in the middle of a Syracuse Mets baseball game. Absolutely looking forward to that. We'll see how many updates I'll be able to give. Hopefully it's exciting tonight. I'm sure it will be. Can't wait to watch. If I was home, I'd be getting pizza, wings, so I'd be going to town, baby. I would be going to town. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got our boy Brandon here on the program. What's up, Brandon?
Howdy. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, buddy. It's good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry,
I see your other headline here. Squirrel anyone? Yes.
Yeah. I knew you were kind of baffled by the whole
I was.
The whole squirrel
I've never
thing
heard
the
of
other
that
day.
Before. Yeah. Have you eaten? So, Brandon, have you eaten squirrel?
Well, I actually have a kind of a funny story with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, so we don't eat. A lot of people eat squirrel here in Arkansas, and we do not because, and this goes before I was born, before my mother was born. My grandpa was a preacher, and he would, kind of take care of some of the less fortunate and whatnot. And some of these families would want to pay them back, in any way they could.
Mm-hmm.
So they invite my grandpa, and my mom's the youngest, so she wasn't born at the time, but her 3 siblings, so my grandpa, his wife, and the 3 siblings go over to these people's house, and they're having squirrel dumplings.
Squirrel dumplings? Okay.
Yes. And so anyway, my aunt and uncle, they have always told me one thing they will never forget was stirring through this squirrel dumpling, and there was still squirrel hair in it.
Wow.
And so ever since then, my whole family, apparently, in the pots, there was, squirrel skulls and stuff like that, and plenty of squirrel hair. So anyway, my family, before I ever got a chance to even be brought into the picture, it's been passed down that you don't eat squirrel because...
that'll do it. Let me just, I want to make that part straight with you, that absolutely, if there was squirrel skull or hair, I'm not if I'm at a restaurant, I'm like, geez, there's a piece of hair in my face. If there was a clump of squirrel hair, oh boy, that would be, initiate the gag reflex. Oh boy, that'd be gross. Yeah.
See, I'm already just weird with hair in general. If I'm drinking something and my dog walks by and starts shaking, I put my hand over the lid. I'm just weird about hair. I don't know what it is, but
and it's not just you. That should be I would hope, a very common thing. I don't want to be drinking hair. I don't want to be drinking that start gagging or something, for God's sakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's something I think a lot of people kind of have in common, but. Yeah, so I'm not one to. I've never tried squirrel, but I've had people, friends that eat squirrel legs all the time and stuff like that. But
squirrel legs, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm turning this channel into the Food Network. I'm
which is interesting. The most bizarre thing I think I've ever had is gator nuggets. We have a fair here, the Great New York State Fair. And I've had some gator nuggets, which they taste, again, like anyone says, perhaps they taste like chicken.
Oh yeah, I love gator. I love calamari. I've not really had anything people probably think in Arkansas we're eating the ass end out of a skunk for breakfast or something, but I haven't really had anything too crazy. I'm a cheeseburger, steak, pizza kind of guy. So
yeah, sure, okay.
But anyway, well, so the whole Garrett Wilson thing, I'm Garrett Wilson's biggest fan.
Sure.
I'm just kind of like, I do think it's too soon to say that you can't compare Don Maynard. He's in the Mount Rushmore of Jets players. Like you've got him on that list, and I feel like Revis should be on that list too. I think Revis is the best to ever play at his position.
Mm-hmm.
And when we signed Sauce, and I don't keep up with college as much as I do pros, so I just knew we were drafting a guy named Sauce Garner, and I thought his name being Sauce Garner, like he's got a nickname. I'm like, this dude's gonna be like really cocky and loud, and he really hasn't been that since we've signed Sauce. Since we've drafted him. And anyway, I don't like how we quickly everybody started comparing him to Revis. I think Revis. I just think and it's not just us as Jets fans, it's every team. Everybody's always looking for that next person. It's like
I guess that's
it's like, oh, we've got the next Revis, and it's like, well, can he play? And then Sauce played, and he's really good, and I think he's the best at his position. But, you just got to give him time. You got to have consistency. I think you've got to give somebody at least 5 to 6 years before you start, at the least, before you start really just putting in saying they're the best to ever play, But
think about everyone else, like Joe Tipman. Like, is he the next Nick Mangold? Like, yeah. Olaf Fashanu, is he the next to Brickshaw Ferguson? Yeah, 100%.
And, exactly. And, so anyway, now I think Garrett, I think he's the best player on our team. I think he's better than Sauce. I think he is. I think if you put them up against each other, I think Garrett would come out the victor. Like if you just did 10 reps, I think Garrett would win 7 out of those 10.
Damn.
With Zach Wilson throwing
high praise. Oh, wow.
And did I see yesterday I thought it was Heavy on Jets posted this where,
sure.
Did you post something about Zach Wilson? He's already lost the starting job for Denver?
I have not posted it. It could have been an update from the page, but
Okay.
I've heard that, so we have I don't think it's AI. I think we actually have some news person that just writes little write-ups, and I believe Zach, Benjamin Albright tweeted out that Bo Nix is the favorite to start right now in his opinion, and then Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham are battling for it, and then there's a big ass gap, and then there's Zach Wilson. So if I am to believe what I read, then things are not looking good for old Zachy.
Yeah, and like I said, it might not have been Heavy on Jets, but I think the little caption for the link was Zach Wilson loses worst quarterback battle in NFL history or something like that. Like the guys he was going up against were trash or whatever, but
yeah,
I don't know. But Bo Nix might end up being something. But
maybe.
Anyway, I'm telling you, I think Garrett, after watching him week 1 last year catch that touchdown in Buffalo,
crazy. Yeah,
dude, I'm just telling you, I've got a feeling, and I'm gonna, as long as we're. You know how B-Mac calls up here every day and talks about how awesome Aaron Rodgers is. I guess I'm turning into the freaking Garrett Wilson guy. But hey, I think he's going to do good. I think we've got a great season. I don't care if he's the best. He's definitely contributing to our team. And kind of like Ricky said, everybody's going to talk about crap. That being with him and Rodgers arguing on the sideline, which I don't even think. I think that's just a bunch of bull crap. They were just.
Me too.
They're painting Garrett out like he's Terrell Owens or I don't know, like Des Bryant. And it's dude, he is not that kind of guy at all.
Definitely not.
If you haven't watched, have you watched his little documentary yet? That they did
I have not seen it yet. No.
You need to check that out. But hey, man, I appreciate you having me on, and everybody have a good morning. We're close to the weekend, so.
Damn straight. I love that from our boy Brandon, and let's play it for him. Damn straight. We are close to weekend. We got the Hall of Fame game tonight. Again, Jets don't play this upcoming weekend. It's a following weekend. But hey, this weekend we got SummerSlam, baby, for our WWE people in the audience. Oh yeah, which is also in Cleveland. Or it is in Cleveland rather. It's a little bit of a drive from Canton, Ohio, but you should be able to kind of check both of those off the bucket list. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got a lot of callers waiting. We have Uncle Tio here on the program. What's up, Tio?
Hey, good morning. I want to say salute to you and salute to the coffee club
Yes,
in the
thank you.
house. Yeah, definitely. I heard about the squirrel. Is this the Squirrel Cooking Network going on here?
It feels like it. Creative, exotic animals and cooking and whatnot. And I'm a big fan of like Master Chef and shows of that nature. And sometimes they get like, they lift the middle and they say, let's lift the mystery box. Let's see what's under there. And then, today you guys will be working with squirrel. And then shout to the people, oh God, squirrel. What am I going to do with that? But apparently that is more familiar to our boy Brandon and his family with in Arkansas, people apparently eat squirrel, which I've never been to Arkansas, but I will take his word for it. Wow.
Well, all I will say is that my grandfather, he was a master chef and he would cook anything and everything. So, turtle soup and snake and, I'm sure that if he had squirrel in front of him, he probably would have cooked it. But being in Puerto Rico, I don't know how many squirrels are out there that they're cooking.
That's a good point. We'll have to see if we can get. I see we have Chef Kevin Gilbert's here in the chat. VR is my guy. We'll have to see if he has some sort of secret squirrel recipe, perhaps by the end of the show he could share if he's ever worked with squirrel before. But
funny. Secret Squirrel was an old cartoon. I don't know if you remember Secret Squirrel.
I do not. That was
and Morocco
Mole.
Yeah, look it up.
Secret
Google
Squirrel.
it. Secret Squirrel. Yeah. So. Hey, I wanted to come on here.
And yes. Because that's the nickname. What's his name has Daniel Dobb from Fantasy Football Show. Yeah, on ESPN. Yeah, Secret Squirrel because of his military background on the TV show. Yes.
Based off the cartoon. Absolutely. Crazy. Yeah. I just wanted to come and talk about some of the positive things for the Jets instead of all this negative, the media likes to portray us in a negative light any chance they get, I guess, for the clicks and it sells and all that kind of stuff. But, I wanted to talk about number one, Malachi Corley. Have you seen his training camp so far and those catches that they keep replaying all on social media? I'm not there in the practices, but it has looked super great. And he has looked wonderful. And people talked about, his route running, is very limited and stuff like that. The dude looks like a player to me. And, he may be one of those that, vies for that slot position, coming up to start the season. I love Malachi Corley coming out of the draft, the Yak King and all that kind of stuff. But I really think that has been such a positive to see in training camp. Number one, the other thing I wanted to bring up was yesterday, Sauce and Brees, they had a rap battle on the field. I thought that was so positive to see. I love that they were just going back and forth and laughing and having fun, and that's, as fans, that's what we want to see. We want to see them, working out, doing their thing, but also having fun on there. Yes. We've all been players. We've all played sports. We do this. We play the sports to have fun. And that's such a positive to see out there. And I love that. And I think Brandon brought this up about the origins. I just wanted to shout out One Jets Drive and the amazing production that they're doing with these origin stories from JJ. I knew JJ because I follow JJ here in Florida and stuff like that, Florida State. I knew his story. Didn't really know a lot about Garrett Wilson and his story, but his story was wonderful. Pickles and all that kind of stuff was great. And then DJ Reed, oh man, that was really, it gives them some humanity And that's one of the things that I love to see. A lot of people are talking about the negative stuff. Man, my man, Javon Kinlaw, he went in front of the press and he poured his heart out there, his humanity, saying that, he had dark days, and to be able to touch the grass was such a big blessing. And he never gave up. Sometimes we forget the humanity of these, individuals. And man, it was just it was so refreshing to really, really see that. And I just wanted to know your take on that and stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've not seen. I've gotten really behind, so I got to do some catching up here over the next couple of days on both DJ Reed's and Garrett's. I've seen Jermaine's. I've not seen DJ Reed or Garrett's, and I've heard stories, ironically enough, about DJ Reed's story. People have told me things about the DJ Reed story, so I'm super fascinated to dive in on that one and the Garrett stuff. And yeah, Hep is giving a huge shout out, saying, Paul, you got to watch Origins, especially G-Dub, great kid, opposite of T.O. And I love T.O. too. T.O. was one of my favorites, but I'm so looking forward to that though. That's going to be awesome. So I can't wait. I need to check those out. On the Malachi thing, yesterday, once again, Salah brought up the raw route running. Here was his quote. I won't play the full video, but here was one of the things he was asked when a reporter, Antoine Staley, asked him about the transition for college receivers to the NFL. Salah said it was hard. He said, quote, "You could just use Malachi Corley as an example. His life was basically bubbles and shallow crosses in college. That's the gist of his repertoire. One of the things that he has to get great at in a hurry is route running." But he talked about how it's not just a route running, like on a piece of paper, hey, we need you to run a 5-yard slant. It's like being able to know all the routes and then be in the game, and then a situation presents itself and you can't just run a 5-yard slant. You got to read your quarterback, who might change the play to something else. You have to read the defense. If it's an optionality route, Wayne Kerbeck kind of talked about this a couple days ago, where it's an in, it's an out, it's a this. You have to read it to determine what you're going to do. So there's a lot of steps to the puzzle for Malachi, but boy, the flashes have been brilliant and makes you think. Like Ari Meroff, who covers the overall NFL, he tweeted out, "See, this is why the Jets were so high on Malachi," which got a lot of hubbub on social media. So his viral clips, the toe drag swag on the right, and then the coming up north on the end zone catch and coming down on it with Joe Douglas is going, I saw that immediately and started laughing yesterday. So that was funny. So yeah, again, the Corley flashes are great. It was Xavier Gibson out for a week or two. Again, it's still TBD exactly when he's coming back. These are prime opportunities for Corley to get reps, and Sal even mentioned it yesterday. They gave Corley more reps yesterday at practice than any practice they have had so far, and it's twofold. One, because they've had so many injuries, they need someone else to get the reps, and number two, Corley himself has earned some more of those rep opportunities. So I'm really excited for the young man.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, Malik Taylor has also been given opportunities, and he's been showing out and flashing as well. So shout out to him and what I've seen in camp on him as well. But, that's all I got, Paul. I just wanted to bring some positivity to, some of these Jets stories. And if you haven't seen them, go look them up, go on your social media, go on the Jets website and their YouTube and stuff like that. And look at those origin stories. Those are great if you have time to do that. And, basically just salute you, the great job that you're doing, and the coffee club out there. And a quick shout out to Jared B. Jared B is doing an excellent job with the Discord. He set everything. You and him set that thing up, and he's been doing a beautiful job moderating that and putting stories and keeping it fresh and keeping the activity going on there. So I just wanted to shout out Jared B. He's doing a great job. And, with the ticket thing, also shout out for him as well. And that's all I got, man. Well, have a great day. Salute and JETS, Jets.
Before you sign off, we have a YouTube super chat coming in here from Brandon. So first off, It sounds like Brandon, who sent in a nice super chat here. Thanks, Brandon, that he's asking for almost a T.O. origin story. Love T.O.'s background. Or he could be talking about the New York Titans background.
I think he's talking about the
But the first thing I thought about was your background, your story. And I'm like, yeah, let's get an origin to 411 episode, hearing the origin story of Uncle T.O. and Johnny. That would be terrific. And
oh,
so
that's awesome.
So
I like the idea. Yeah.
So let's get that out there. Again, send me my royalty check when we get off the air. And more here from Brandon. Also, rat tastes good when you eat it outside. Go Jets. Love the show, Paul. Okay, that part's disgusting. I did have at one point, not because I wanted it, but I had a rat before.
Down in Louisiana, they have something called Nutria. You can look that up.
Okay.
And these are big. They look like rats. They're big rats. And that is a particular delicacy down in the bayou and down in the southern states. So if he's talking about that, yeah.
Wow, that is. I'm about to throw it on the screen. This is one of the most disgusting animals I've ever seen. This is. Okay, well, here you go,
have my
everybody.
Limitations.
Yeah, I guess so. Here we go. Here is Nutria, a rodent pig, they call it. Look at those teeth. Oh, God. Look at this thing. It's disgusting. But,
it's a Cujo rat.
Yeah, look at that thing. Good Lord have mercy. So, yeah, if he's talking about that thing looks bizarre.
Woo.
But, oh boy.
No way.
No, thank you.
But no thanks.
Yeah, I don't think so on that. But thanks for the call, buddy. We're looking forward to the 411 tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Salute. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. There you go. Uncle Tio joining us here on the show. We'll take one more caller, baby, here on the program. And one of your favorites, Jets legend, B-Mac, graces us with his presence. What's up, B-Mac?
Hey, hey, Pablo Green. This is the picture you wanted.
I did, so thank you for that. It's in production. I will let you know what that's going to be for in due time.
Oh, okay. Hope it's nothing, it's nothing, hope it's not going to make me look bad or nothing like that.
Nah, how that's impossible, B-Mac. How could anyone make you look bad?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not going to rant, I'm going to say that for Sunday.
For Sunday, right. Yes, okay, that's a good call. Yeah.
Pop, you know what I mean? So I hope he's ready, but,
yeah, me
it's
too.
going to be a nice, cool B-Mac. But, okay. I got some questions and, Jets training camp related. But first of all, I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. You being a Jet fan, you lived through all the heartbreaks, all the
embarrassing moments, humiliation, sure, the losses,
all
the blowouts, yeah,
all the bad moments, and look, I'm a part of this too. I am a part of the Jets family, but so I'm not, I'm throwing myself included.
Right, you're not immune to it. I understand. Yeah. So, what's your question?
Yeah, but week 1, right? 49ers, Jets, Monday Night Football, right?
Sure.
Just like last year.
Sure.
Rodgers' first game back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Jet fans, you included, are going to have PTSD over what happened last year?
I mean, how can't you? Think about it a little. With it being Monday Night Football. And I think a lot of people are going to collectively hold their breath until the 5th snap. Again, Aaron Rodgers lasted 4 snaps last year. As far as I'm concerned, the plan for Aaron Rodgers can be Jets win the toss, they receive. They would probably defer, but they receive, and they go run, punt. If they did that, I would still be fine. Like, you want to really slow roll Rodgers into it. I could also understand the other side. Immediately, first play action, take a shot immediately and say, yeah, Rodgers is back, you bastards. So I could understand either way. But I think a lot of people naturally will be collectively holding their breath because last year was traumatic. It was traumatic for Rodgers, like actually going through it, and for Jet fans who had such high hopes and they all came crashing down to the earth's surface. Again, after 4 plays in, we realized, oh no, this is the Zach Wilson show for the entire year. And we had built it up so big in our head. So yes, I think naturally there would be some PTSD. For me personally, I operate as a glass half full guy. So I will be elated, excited. I will be watching on my television here at home, most likely that game. And I'm just going to take it all in. But I think in a general sense, to answer your question, I think people will be holding their breath. And then after the fourth snap and they get into the fifth snap, it's kind of like, whew, or the first Aaron Rodgers touchdown pass or something. You're like, oh, thank God. Okay, now we can all breathe. Okay, now let's just play the season.
So by saying that you don't think he's gonna, by saying that you think he's gonna go down for again.
Say that one more time.
So you saying that because you saying that you got to see him get past play 4 into play 5 for you to feel. So deep down, you don't think he's gonna last 4 plays.
No. Yeah, let me clarify that. No, that's not what I mean at all. I just think after what happened last year, where he only lasted 4 snaps, seeing him physically and literally get to a 5th play for a lot of people will help them go, oh, thank goodness. Like, okay. Like, because if it were to happen again, I don't know how people would recover, is what I'm saying. I don't know how people would recover if somehow that happened again. And again, the likelihood of that happening is extremely unlikely. So no, for me, again, optimist and everything else, I think he's playing, let's call it 14, 15 games this year of the regular season is what I anticipate. There might be a hiccup somewhere in there where he misses a week or two, but no, I think he's playing the entire season. I'm just saying everyone else after what happened last year, I think they will be kind of like, and then play, and then, oh, thank God. Okay, now let's play.
So it has nothing to do with Rodgers. It just has to do with
it's a mental thing. No, like I think Rodgers.
It has to do with the fans and
the trauma that you talked about, where you walked us through the heartache and losses and loser mentality and stuff like that. Yeah, it's purely mental for the fans. I'm sure for Rodgers, it'll feel good to hike the ball, throw a quick 5-yard pass to Garrett Wilson and complete his first pass. He never completed a pass. It was incompletes and then nothing and sack. So he never got to complete a pass. So I'm sure for Rodgers, as soon as he completes that first pass, it's Monday Night Football. He's like, oh yeah, baby, I'm Aaron Rodgers. So yeah.
All right, because the reason I brought it up because I know people are still talking about it and and not just fans and national media and and I get it. Like it is disappointing, like all that hype and hoopla last off season and Super Bowl expectations, and then in 4 plays it come crashing down. But I mean, again, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record, keep repeating myself, but like Rodgers been in the league for 20 years, right? And before that, his 20-year plan that never happened to him before. So last year was an outlier. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Like it's like someone doing a backflip off of like a building, like not like it's like someone doing a backflip off of a school building and landing on their feet. Like
Yeah,
it
right.
really happens.
It's kind of seeing it. Which, by the way, shout out.
Okay.
On New York Sports, aka Uncle Tio, has just gifted a membership, baby. Shout out to Jetted Out.
Tio, you had to interrupt me, huh?
Yeah, he did. Which, by the way, if you people would like to interrupt, you can send those YouTube super chats through. We will interrupt anybody who's on the show. Jetted Out, you just got gifted a membership, pal. So shout out to Uncle Tio for gifting it and Jetted Out for receiving it. You guys can either buy yourself a membership with the join button on the page or gift it to others, as Uncle Tio just did. So yeah, feel free if you guys would like to interrupt BMAC or you'd like him to keep going with his points. Let us know.
Yeah. Just to let you know, the more you interrupt me, the more I'm gonna keep going. So
I see.
Keep
Okay,
stoking
so
the
like
fire.
a threat. It's
Right.
a threat to the people.
I'm just messing with you, T.O. I love you. But yeah, hey, gotta get that money in. Gotta donate.
Yeah, that's for sure. I appreciate that.
But it's like last year was an outlier, and last year it could have happened to anybody. Captain Patrick Mahomes, Captain C.J. Stroud, could happen to Tom Brady. You know what I mean? It could have, Do you agree with that? Like it could happen to any quarterback.
Yeah, there's no. Again, I could blow out my Achilles today, and I'm 31, whatever I am. Someone 20, 10, 15, it doesn't matter. Anything could happen. It's just a human body.
Yeah. It was a freak injury, but I do think Rodgers will be, again, he's an Iron Man. You know what I mean? The dude played through his whole career. For the majority of his career, he's been doable. Yeah, he's been available. I mean, hell, even when he's hurt, he's still out there under center. It's just an Achilles. Like I said, Achilles is a freak thing. Because Greenlaw last year ran out to the field, popping his.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
And he was just jogging out to the field and boom. You know what I mean? So Achilles injuries, you can't really predict when it's going to happen. It just happened. And last year it just happened. So, but and then the other thing is now the training camp thing. T.O. again stole my Malachi Corley take, but I do think seeing Malachi Corley, I saw the highlight there where Rodgers threw a dime to him in the end zone. He reminds me of I keep saying this. I think Malachi Corley is gonna be like a Randall Cobb 2.0. You know what I mean? Now again, Randall Cobb. I'm talking about prime Randall Cobb, 2014, 2012 Randall Cobb,
not 2023 Randall Cobb.
Yeah. But Randall Cobb wasn't the yak, guy like Corey is. Corey is a yak machine.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like if you give him the ball to him, if you give him the ball out in space, like you saw it in this college highlights. You know what I mean? Like boom. You know what I mean? Good luck stopping that guy, because you know what I mean? Because he can just take off right down to the house. And Rodgers likes his yak guys too. You know what I mean? Like Rodgers' career, Rodgers with Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, guys that can just make yards out to the catch, you know what I mean, and take it to the house. But I think Corey's gonna be that Randall Cobb 2.0, and don't be shocked if he gets involved this season. Like if Rodgers and him keep building that chemistry doing training camp and maybe in the preseason if he plays, don't be shocked if he if Malachi Corey becomes a part of this offense. Now I do think it's a great sign that Allen Lazard is now lining up in practice, but it's still practice, so
Wow. We went from
you say that you won't go for about 5 more hours, all right? So
wow. Yeah, Jersey Jet with the YouTube super chat saying wrap it up. Wow, for the super chat.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
No, matter of fact, Jazzy Jet, I would love for you to jump on here and show your face and talk. You know what I mean? Instead of being a coward and keyboard and a keyboard warrior hiding behind a computer screen. So just saying. Because at least I show my face. At least I have the nuts too, so my face, in which you don't. You know what I mean? I bet you don't got no nuts. I bet you was born a female. But hey,
wow.
No offense to the females out there. I'm just saying.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
Now, back to what I was saying. Yeah. I won't be surprised if Mike Corey gets involved in the offense early on in the season, especially Rodgers. If Rodgers trusts you, then he's gonna get you involved as much as he can. And Lazard, again, I have to believe it when I see it comes to Lazard. If Lazard, shows that same kind of effort and production doing regular season game, then now we talking. But again, it's practice, not that much hitting. It is a great sign that we're hearing great things about him, and hopefully he learned his lesson from last year. And it seemed like he did. He talked about it and saying that he held himself accountable about him not not doing his job last year and doing his part. But Mike and then once Mike Williams get into that offense, once his offense is really healthy, if they can stay healthy, I think the sky's the limit, man, and I think this offense is not going to look like it was the last 2 years. I think this offense, if they can score 22 points a game, I think that's totally enough for this team to win football games. Because again, you got the defense. They're going to be playing with the lead. They're not going to give up that many points, maybe 17, 20 points a game. And this offense has to do at a bare minimum score 23 points a game, and they can easily win football games. So what's you take on that?
So your overall question is?
No, about the Micah Corey. Do you think Micah Corey is going to get involved in the offense in the beginning of the year?
Yeah, it depends on the Xavier Gibson injury and how long he ends up being out like that. So that part of the equation for me could allow Malachi Corley to get more in at the beginning, potentially, to happen. But if Xavier Gibson ends up coming up to be quicker to put it together, then it could take a while for Malachi to get on the field.
Well, yeah, that's it. I just want to say, I love you. Keep it going. All right. I'm gonna go. So you minions in the chat, don't bang their heads. You know what I mean? Against the wall from listening to me talk all day long. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna, let their brain cells rest. All right. Until tomorrow morning. So thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to it, BMAC. There you go. What a way to end the show. Wow. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to the near 400 people in the room. Enjoy the Hall of Fame game tonight, and there should be more content coming. We'll be back live at 3:30. Okay, 3:30. It'll be me, Woody, and Joe Blewett of JetsXFactor.com. So see you guys then at 3:30. Plus, we got another massive interview coming. It should be someone from the NFL Media Group, which is NFL Network. We should have a wonderful guest. Stay tuned for that. That should be coming either later today or even tomorrow morning on Boy Green Daily. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.